Electronisounds Audio.
The YouTube channel, 100% views.
Hey, what's happening, guys? It's Dean from Electronisounds. Stick around. Today we're going to continue exploring the rabbit hole of never-ending sonic goodness that is miRack for iPad. This is the modular synthesizer for iPad, guys, and it's absolutely amazing. Let's get into this. Hey, before we get started today, be sure and subscribe if you're into this kind of content. On this channel, I talk about everything from modular synthesis with iPads to sound design and making tracks with iPads. We talk about new gear, we talk about old gear, we talk about making live jams, all that good stuff. Be sure and subscribe. I've been using miRack for just over a week now, and I've collected some really important notes and little bits of information that I think will really help you guys on your miRack journey. The very first thing I want to mention today is that you do not need to be connected to the internet to use miRack. I just want to make sure I get that across. I thought that was the case, and that's what I had said in my very first video, but it turns out you do not need to be connected to the internet to use miRack. I also want to mention regarding sharing projects that have samples in them. Currently, if you load samples into miRack, you're not going to be able to share that project with others with the samples intact in that project, and I mention this because I'm encouraging you guys to share your projects with me and to email those over at junebug@electronisounds.com, and I will share those on the channel. Unfortunately for now, they're going to need to have just the default modules from miRack and no samples included. I've talked a little bit with the developer about this, and there's a chance that we may see embedded samples coming in the future, but for now, the samples that you import into your miRack projects do not save or export when you share those projects with others. So that's something to keep in mind. I also think it's really important to note that if you were afraid of getting into modular because of the difficulty level, I'm new to modular too, guys, and we're going very slowly in this series. All of my tutorials for miRack are going to be super beginner friendly, and this is really a great opportunity to jump in and get started with modular synthesis on a really slow and super beginner friendly level. Now, if you're not new to modular, or maybe you just want to skip ahead of the rest of the class, I'm going to go ahead and recommend another tutor to you at this time. miRack is based on a desktop application called VCVRack, and there's a YouTuber named Omri Cohen who's done an amazing amount of in-depth and very detailed tutorials for VCVRack and modular synthesis in general. I'm going to put a link to his channel up in the corner, and if you guys want to take off on your own and really get deep inside of lots of different modules, that's definitely a channel that I recommend you checking out. Now, miRack can certainly eat up the hours, friends, and if you're a little bit concerned about the amount of hours that you're spending in this app, I just want to remind you that we're not really learning one app here. We're actually learning modular synthesis and deep concepts about synthesis in general. These concepts are not only going to apply to real-world modular synthesis, if you ever choose to get down that rabbit hole, they're also going to apply to VCV-Rack on desktop, if you ever choose to go down that rabbit hole. And they also apply generally to synthesizers in general. So you're definitely getting a lot more knowledge when you're spending your time in this app than just learning one app. You should definitely keep that in mind. Something I think is pretty sweet, guys, is that you can click on any module, and when you get the menu open, you're going to have the option to randomize that module. So you can create random patterns inside of a sequencer or any number of, modules. And if you're not, happy with that and you want to go back to the beginning, you can always just open the menu up again and initialize that module back to the initialized state. This is handy for like oscillators or filters or sequencers or all sorts of things, guys. I really, recommend getting into these menus and checking out this randomization feature. And speaking of menus, I really want to encourage you to explore the menus of each module that you load because they are different and you're going to find some neat settings in some of these menus. Here's our clocked module, and if we open that up, we're going to get the option to reset when run is turned off, put some extra CVs in actually even to the right. We can see those if we move this mixer out of the way. Extra CVs, so then we get an extra even row of CV patch points here. If we double click on anything from Choral Effects, okay, they're going to get an actual different skin involved. Each of these from Choral Effects comes with a dark skin and also a happy skin, like a light bright skin. So if we load another module in, we go to the menu, you'll see that one, can be switched back and forth as well. So I just want to encourage you guys to explore the menus of every single thing that you load and see if there's going to be some options that are specific to that module. One of the things that I like about this MSC Hack mixer that I've been using in a lot of my projects is if you go ahead and click on that and open up the menu, you get some options here, including put the level sliders to 1.5 times gain, giving you 1.5 times volume in this whole mixer. I've definitely been using that setting in a lot of my projects. So don't forget to check out the menus of all the modules you load. before we go, I just want to let you know again that if you've made something in miRack and you'd like to share it, go ahead and send that to me at junebug@electronisounds.com and I will share it on the channel. There's going to be a whole lot more content from miRack coming. If you'd like to support the work that I'm doing on this channel, the best way to do that is to check out some of my sample packs on electronisounds.com, or maybe consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com. The links are in the description. Thanks for watching.